Good afternoon, everybody. As you all are coming on in, feel free to turn your cameras on, turn them off. Unmute yourself. Let us know you're at least there and can hear us. Maybe.
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Penny gave us a thumbs up. Renee, fantastic. Renee, if I known you were going to be on, I would have worn my transfer shirt. Renee has the best transfer shirts.
I'm off today, so I'm hiding my camera, but I will tell you, I have mine on too. It's so comfy.
It really is. They're really, really comfortable.
I'll take some. I don't know if anyone's going to NISTS, but I'll take some extras.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We might have a few more people jump on, but there was only 7 or 8 people RSVP'd. So 50% or so is a good show rate, I think. So we are going to go through a little bit about the conference and how to present, how to set up a presentation or submit a presentation for the AACRAO Tech and Transfer Summit. And then we'll go ahead and just give you all the chance to ask questions, network with each other, etc. Feel free to use the chat if you want to ask any questions while we're talking or interrupt us with raising your hand or something like that. We are recording, as you saw, so we will have this available. So don't say anything bad about anybody in the room or anybody who might watch. And we will get ourselves going. Gwendolyn, would you like to get us started with introductions?
Absolutely. Hello, I am Gwendolyn Davis. I'm the director of the Undergraduate Admissions Transfer Center at University of Tennessee, Knoxville, where I've been for since 2019, going on 4 years now.
Wow. And I am Seth Kamen. I am an AACRAO consultant, a recovering transfer professional, and a doctoral student who is currently in the middle of his comps. So you guys are taking my break for that activity today. So I just want to confirm that everyone can see the PowerPoint presentation. We could get a thumbs up or a yes in the chat. That would be fantastic. Great. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started. If it wants to go. All right. So this is a quick agenda of what we'll be going over today. A little bit about the conference, a little bit about sessions and submitting them, giving you some important deadlines and information, and then giving you all the opportunity again for questions and answers. So I'm going to pass it over to Gwendolyn, who just found out she's doing this slide.
All right. So as you can see, the Technology and Transfer Center is going to be July 11th through 13th, completely virtual. And it has been planned kind of midday to address pretty much every area of the country. So no one should have too early or too late of a day. The theme, of course, is finding creativity in technology and transfer. We have listed here the 4 primary focus areas, but that does not mean that you can't look at that and be as broad. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some other ideas. And then the whole point is being creative in technology and transfer. So hopefully anyone interested will be able to use their creativity in terms of session proposals. Want me to keep going? Oh, okay. So, well, I kind of talked about it in a little bit. So when you are thinking about your sessions, it is about looking at some new topics. What are some things and trends that are beginning to emerge? Some things that maybe you have not heard already that you think are pertinent to especially transfer and technology, making sure that we are balancing both sides of that. So we don't want to be tech heavy. We also don't want to be transfer heavy. Want to align, of course, with the AACRAO strategic plan. It does include some career development, professional development. As you can see in the bullets, I always say we're all educated, so I know we can all read what we have here on the slides. But these are just some ideas when you're thinking about what session to propose. These are some things that can help kind of drive or support what you are thinking about. So, and of course, a good presentation is going to engage the audience. We have the benefit of being virtual, which I think can make presenting a little more comfortable than standing in front of a group at a podium on a stage. But you also want to consider the different viewpoints, as I said, conversational. You don't want too many PowerPoint slides to where you're not really engaging the people there. And, especially virtually, if you have a lot of slides, you might stop listening and start reading slides. So not too PowerPoint heavy. Use your experience, both the positive and negative, whether it's vendors or software or practices, anything like that. Giving both sides of an experience will also help. Again, something new, and then something, if it just feels like the right thing. Engage your audience, so pay attention. So, you can encourage folks to have cameras on, or if at least a few folks have cameras on, you can kind of gauge interest and how people are responding to what you are presenting. So, and these are the different types of presentations that we have. So you can present by yourself, you can present with multiple presenters, panel discussion, roundtables, workshops, and again, corporate sessions. Corporate sessions are going to be a little bit different. And we're going to want to make sure that we are clearly specifying what a corporate session is versus some of our other sessions or our other sessions. So
We do pay
and
some
please
really
make sure
close
if you are
attention.
presenting with a vendor, that is very clear, so that we can specify whether or not this session is geared towards a vendor. What's different is if you're talking about a particular software and you're talking about your experience with it, implementing it, especially, which is my area of, I'd love to hear more conversation about what implementation looked like, how long did it take, things like that. Again, but if you're presenting with a vendor, that's going to be a different session than the regular presentation. Did I miss anything, Seth? No, good. Cool. So we don't want to have more than one presenter. We do, as we're looking at session proposals, we are looking at the diversity of the presentations. Same thing if you're on a panel, to have multiple viewpoints. If you're going to do a panel so that the people who are attending are able to see the different sides. If there's someone who has not presented, or if you're someone that's not presented before, now is a perfect time to submit a proposal and look at presenting. If you've presented at regional or state and not necessarily for AACRAO on the national level, this is also another good time to submit a proposal and consider presenting, and then presenters will receive a 25% discount on registration.
And
If
I
anyone
realize that
has any questions while either Seth or I are talking, please jump in, throw something in the chat, raise your hand. So you don't have to wait until we get to the questions slide. If there's anything that you want to know about or anything you want to say, please jump in.
And we when I formatted, I neglected to change this font here. There actually is something written in this blue box, which is that we're actually looking for 54 concurrent sessions. So there will be 5 time slots with 9 sessions in each one of them, depending upon registration for the conference. That might go up or down depending upon how many people we get and how many we need. So there's a fairly good chance that if you do submit a session, you will be accepted and presenting at the conference, because 54 is a pretty good number, but it also just speaks to the breadth of what we're trying to accomplish here, and the various types of topics that we really want to make sure we've integrated into the conference. As Gwendolyn said, again, both tech and transfer, and then also the connection between technology and transfer. They are not exclusive to each other. There's certainly a lot of connection between those two areas. So, all right. Any questions on sort of sessions or types of sessions? We're going to get into how to submit in just a moment. But want to just pause there for a moment. If not, we're just going to keep on going. So I will take over on how to actually submit a session. And I your names all look familiar to me, which means that you've probably submitted a session before and things really haven't changed as, from the past, either from the annual meeting, the SEM meeting, or last year's AACRAO Tech and Transfer meeting. We are using the software system that we've used in the past called Open Water. You're going to log in through your AACRAO account, and I'm going to go through all this in a couple of slides. But these are basically the things that you're going to need in order to complete the form. So you can go in and start it and save it and jump back out and go back in and start it and keep going at it at all. So you don't need to have all this at once, but you are going to have all of this at some point or another. And if you don't get it right, that's okay. We have the ability to go in and change it on the back end. So we'll be able to update things as we go through the process. So most of you should be pretty familiar with logging into the system. The URL has been sent out via email to members, and it is available right on the Tech and Transfer website. It says, start a submission here, and you'll need your login credentials. So anything you log into the system, if you've ever, again, submitted a session, if you've ever voted in AACRAO elections, etc., the login information for AACRAO. If you don't have it, you're unfamiliar with it, you can follow the process to reset your password, find your ID, etc. So, or start your own profile. Once you do log in, you should see a screen that looks something like this, depending upon different areas of what you have been done in the past. You're going to go ahead and do a click here for a new submission. The only system that is currently open for submissions is the Tech Transfer Conference. It did open last week. Obviously, annual meeting is closed and SEM has not started yet. So the only one that you should be able to fill out is the AACRAO Tech and Transfer. So you go ahead and click that begin a new submission. If you've started a submission already and you want to go back and revisit it, then you would go ahead and click the link above, which is click here to view your last submissions. Here on the upper right are the forms. And again, this should look relatively simple and easy based on your login information, your name, your institution, your email and stuff should all fill in. If you need to make any corrections to that information, you can certainly make it here, but you also need to let AACRAO membership know that those changes need to be made, because this is actually pulling from the AACRAO membership database, their Salesforce database. So changes need to be made in that system in order to influence what these are going to look like in the future. Again, if you make a change to something here, it will not have changed if you log in to do another session. It will not change if you log in at future to do a SEM session, etc. You just talk to AACRAO membership in order to do that. At the bottom of every screen is that save or save and next button. You need to push it. There is no auto save on this system on the front end. So you need to make sure that you're clicking the save buttons as you go along through the process. If you are submitting a session for somebody else and you know who that presenter is, you're going to want to go ahead and change this information to that person's information. If you're not sure about it, you can put your name in, and then we'll go ahead and update it at a later point. I know there's at least one person on the call who puts sessions in for multiple people. I'm pretty sure he knows how to do it, so good. So once you fill this, you hit save or save and next and go to the next slides. These four are small. I didn't want to make it all fancy and freshy, but the things that we mentioned in the 2 or 3 slides before of what you need to include are available on the form here. So you've got your presentation title, your session title, and your session description. We're only allowing 500 characters for the session description. You'll see that we are only asking you to put in one description. You don't need to do the short one and the long one, just the one. This is the one that's going to be included not only on the website, but also in the app itself that we use for the program. So this is the one that you're going to want to make sure counts to explain what your session is all about. You'll choose whether it goes to technology transfer or to both. You're going to sort of apply it to one of the themes. If it doesn't apply to one of the themes, that's okay. Just go ahead and click the other button as well. And then use the program applicability and professional application, which are the 2 next open text boxes, to sort of explain what's going on. What's it about? How does it fit? Why you want to present it? What are people going to get out of it? This is sort of our response to getting more information than just those learning outcomes that we usually see or the core competencies that we usually have to check off. We really want to we want people to really be able to see how this is going to apply to their everyday life or to what their future might hold or what they're planning. It might be that they read this description or they read what it's about and realize that somebody else in their office needs to attend in addition to them, So we really want to give a lot of information here, not just for the committee to make a decision about who's presenting, but also to share out with the rest of the AACRAO community. You'll go ahead and choose your intended audience and then your intended knowledge and skill set. There's no wrong answers here. You can choose as many as you want. Just go ahead and make sure that the boxes themselves are chosen. The next box is to indicate whether or not there's a date you are unable to present. If you can present on all 3 of the dates, again, mainly in the afternoon Eastern time, then you don't need to click anything. But if you have something going on Tuesday and Wednesday, and you can only do Thursday, then please go ahead and check July 13th only, so that we know that that's the only date that you're able to present. When we confirm with you that you are a presenter, we will give you the date and time that you are presenting. We can move things around if it doesn't work out in the end. There's always somebody who needs to adjust their schedule because somebody higher up than them has dictated they need to be at a meeting. I think we've all been in that situation before. The last question on the form is whether or not there will be additional presenters. The answer is simply yes or no. If you answer no, the form is done, you hit save, and you're off and on the races. If you do hit yes, however, it's going to ask you to go ahead and add the presenter's name and information. Again, this is pulling from the AACRAO database, so that person needs to be in the AACRAO system. You can hit add presenter, type in a name and search by name or email, and hit add. And in this case, I added Tina Deneen, our Associate Executive Director, added her to the presentation, and you'll see she's now on there. You can add another presenter, et cetera, et cetera. If you need to add somebody who is not in the system, then you need to actually go ahead and email either Gwendolyn or I and let us know that you're going to need to add a presenter, because we need to work with AACRAO to get that person an account so that we can add them to the session. So that'll just simply be an email that you can let us know and say, hey, for this session, I need to add this person and this person. If you start adding corporate sponsors at this point, at this level, it is going to be a red flag for us, and we are going to start looking into whether or not you have a corporate session. You're welcome to email or contact either Gwendolyn or I to talk a little bit more about how to manage that process before you go ahead and add somebody. Again, we can always add somebody a little bit later on if we need to, but we will be using this to sort of do a little bit of control over what type of sessions they are and what's going on. And that's how simple it is. Once you submit a session, you submit it, and you can go ahead and submit another one if you want to. If you need to make changes to it, just go ahead and let us know, and we can make changes. We'll do spell check on it. We'll do all that stuff for you, so you don't have to worry about that. We've got our Grammarly, and we've got our spell check and spacing, and it will conform to AACRAO's style guide before it gets published out into the world. So any questions? I did that really quickly because I know you all are already experts on this, and nothing has really changed in the past. It's just some wording on questions. Any questions on that? Thumbs up, good. Okay, great. Doug and Renee are going to speak for everybody. There's Lisa's hand, thumbs up. All right. So just to give you a little bit of the timeline of what's going on here, the database did open last Monday. Hopefully you all saw that announcement both in the Connect as well as having received an email for it, and you must have because you signed up for the webinar. So great. The March 6th is the deadline to submit the sessions. That's when we'll be closing the session database, and the advisory committee will begin looking at the presentations with the intention of letting you all know by March 24th if you've been approved as a session presenter. You will then have about a month or so to let us know that you are interested, and you will have to confirm your availability. So there'll be another form that you just have to fill out that says, yes, I'm confirming. Yes, these are my presenters. Yes, this date and time works. Thank you very much. Wendell and I will both be at AACRAO annual meeting in Colorado, and we will both be available to meet with you if you have any questions or anything during there. So you're welcome to reach out to us. I know I was spending lots of time at the AACRAO booth at the first timers reception, et cetera. So that if you have any questions, we'll be there. Registration will open on April 24th, and at that point, the website will be updated with all of the sessions. So again, that information you've presented will be available as a searchable database on the website. In early June, we'll do a quick check-in with you all to make sure everything's going okay, that you're still able to present and everything's moving forward. And we will make the presenter template available to you on the website, in addition to a bunch of other information about how to be a presenter and what we're expecting from you, et cetera, et cetera. And then in early July, right before the conference, we are going to ask you to send us a copy of your PowerPoint presentation, just so that we have it behind the scenes in case something happens. Although you will be driving them from your own world as you give your presentation in July. And that is our timeline. Any questions on that? Try to make it as simple and straightforward as Lisa says. I know she said that about the form, but I'm saying it about the timeline also. And that is actually the entire presentation. Doug, will the slide decks that we send you be shared out with participants? Yes. We are actually moving to the Hoovia app, which is the app that we use for the Strategic Enrollment Conference and that they'll be using at the annual meeting. So it's not going to look the same way that it did last year in terms of the presentation and the interface between members. So all of the apps will be uploaded into that database. You'll actually be uploading them yourself into that database and be available before, during, and then for usually about 30 days after the sessions for those that have registered.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out there also, because Seth mentioned we're going to be at the AACRAO annual conference. I'll also be at NISTS. So I heard one person say they were going to be there. So if anybody else is there, look for me, say hello, or if you have questions, let me know.
And we are not opposed to partnering with presenters who are at NISTS to present at this conference as well, or to find some new presentations or new ideas or concepts, et cetera. So please be on the lookout if you are going to either one of them for potential presentations, or at least presentable topics for that. I would love to be going to NISTS, but just can't do it this year. So I'm a little upset. I like Portland. So that is actually it. What we can do, if you don't have any other questions, is certainly end the presentation. Wendell and I can hang out for a bit if you want to ask questions about potential topics you might have or are interested in. We can also go ahead and pair you off into rooms if one of you want to throw out a presentation title and talk about a potential co-presenter. If not, thank you very much. This will be posted on the website. We do have another one on February 28th. So tell all of your friends, because it's going to be a great time. If not, then we look forward to seeing all of your presentations, submissions by March 6th. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so you all can see our smiling faces.
I was going to ask, are there any topics that you see a need for presentations on in relation to transfer?
There's so many.
Well, I'm open to anything, and I'm always willing to help or come up with something. So I think last time you had asked for something, I was like, okay. So if there's anything that comes up, I'm willing to work on something.
Well, that might be what you use NISTS just to sort of get the brain fluids flowing about what are the topics that either are not being addressed or that might be being applied to the AACRAO population. AACRAO is a very unique niche group of people. We're admissions, we're enrollment, we're records, we're a little bit of financial aid, transfer centers. We look at the transfer process very differently than faculty, researchers, et cetera. So there might be something you see that pops out, or just something that's going awesome in Austin or in Texas. Texas doing a lot of great stuff in transfer. So
we're trying. Okay, well, I'll do that. Wendell, and I'll look for you in Portland.
Okay, cool. Yes, and anything.
My face that day.
Okay.
Y'all have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your day off.
Bye.
Bye.